Batter up.
Rock and Chris, they're on the air. Yankees, Mets, they're everywhere. From the Bronx to Queens, the diamond gleams. MLB talk, the ultimate team. MLB is the place to be. Rock and Chris with the pitch you'll see. Swinging stacks and stories fly. Baseball talk that's amplified.
And welcome to a new episode of NYMLB Talk with your hosts, Rob and Chris, as we cover the Mets, Yankees, and all of Major League Baseball. And if you're watching us on YouTube, we'd appreciate it. Hit that like button and hit that sub button. We'd appreciate that. And if you want to follow us on TikTok or on X, you can follow us at NYMLB Talk. You can follow Rob at R Maraska, and you can follow myself at CP7NY. So, Rob, did you survive the storm? That's the big question today.
You know what these storms make me feel like? First of all, especially when football's winding down. We have the Super Bowl left and that's it. But when it's like this, all I could think about is spring training's got to be around the corner because I can't take this anymore, right?
Oh, I'm with you 1,000% on that. I don't think anybody wants to deal with this anymore. But yeah, when it's this cold and it's going to be this cold all week, I think we all just want to get to spring training and get these games going so we could at least start watching baseball on TV, because that kind of, gets you in the mood for spring and all that stuff. And then we know opening day will be around the corner. But yeah, I'm looking forward to pitches and catches reporting. And just like, what is it, 2 more weeks, I think? February 11th,
Yeah,
12th, right? So we're right around the corner from that.
it is right around the corner. And I can't wait. I've had it. I hate winter as it is, really. It's like I
Yes.
know people say, I like the change in seasons. No, I like baseball weather. I
Right.
like the summer. That's me personally, though.
I
But
do
anyway,
like to
before
change. I like to go into fall, but from fall
yeah,
to
fall,
spring.
yes. Yes. I just
I
don't
don't like
like
the
winter.
winter part.
Spring and fall I could deal with. Yes, you're
Yes.
right about that. But before we go on, I just wanted to say, if you guys did not check out Friday Night Show with former Mets pitcher Pete Falcone, go to YouTube and check it out because it was an awesome show, awesome interview. He was really great.
Yeah, he had a lot of great stories. Go to YouTube. That link up in the top corner up there, that takes you directly to our YouTube page, and you can find all of our old episodes there. And then also on, Spotify and also on iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to just listen to it, it's on there as well. So, but it's definitely worth it. Loved it. Love talking to the old players because they're giving us stories that, we don't hear, right? These guys aren't on TV anymore. Like, this is where you're going to hear those stories are on our show when we get these guys on to come on and just talk about baseball and talk about, just about what they did and what they experienced during their time, because you don't hear about it on TV, right? You don't see it on MLB Network or ESPN, Fox, wherever. It's on here. So this is the place to be when you want to hear these great stories from these older players.
And we have a bunch more coming up. We have people that we've already booked. So we have a bunch of former major leaguers coming on. So it's going to be fun. But anyway, what do you got for me today, Chris? Hey,
Nothing.
Madison.
Hey, Madison, I just want to say, blew up today on Twitter, on Facebook. She posted something really funny, but very true at the same in the same token. But it blew up and everybody was reposting it. So Madison, congrats. I love it that happened for you. We're really happy
It
for
was
you.
great.
I thought that was awesome. Joe Dell, real question is, when is the mustache coming back?
Who's
That's an important one for
mine?
yes. Thinking it's you.
I don't know. I need a haircut.
There you go. Maybe at that time. Dan, love your guests.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Dan. Yeah, he was
appreciate
great. Pete Falcone was definitely one of our favorite guests so far that we've had on. And we've had some good ones, right? Whenever we have these former players on, excuse me, they always give us some great stories, some great insight into the game. I love Pete's answer to any changes that he would make if he was MLB commissioner. I love some of his answers there. Really good insight there. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, all right. So let's get back to our teams here. We've made some moves recently. Rob, what do you think? You got yourself an ace now. You fortified that starting rotation. Where do you think the Mets are? You think the Mets are like, okay, I think we're good. Nothing major anymore. We're going to stick with this team, head into spring training. What do you think's going on? What do you think they need, if they need any more?
Well, you know what? I think everything's good now. Listen, it's a lot better than it was, right? Hey, Armand, how you doing? It's a lot better than it was. That's one thing I have to say. And all the Met fans were going nuts, but they said let's just wait and see what they're going to make moves. And they've been making moves. Now, if they made one more move and got Tariq Skubal, then I would be set, but I don't know how much they would have to give. They would have to give up for him. Did you see? And you can't blame the Tigers, but have you seen what they want for him?
Oh yeah, a little bit too high, I think. But I'm sure it'll come down when nobody's gonna. If they really want to move him, it'll definitely come down, right? I mean, it makes kind of sense. Makes more sense if they lower their demands. Armand,
demands.
Did you see the ESPN offseason prediction article published over the weekend? No, I didn't see it. What did it say?
Don't get greedy now. Hey. Yeah. Okay, Mike, you're right.
You gotta get greedy.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with getting greedy. You gotta do it as a fan.
The Dodgers get greedy, right?
Yeah, the Dodgers, they just keep signing everybody. They don't care. That they're as greedy as they come. They got like a 10-man rotation right now. They're probably the front runners for Skubal if he really does become available. I think the Tigers just put that out there, or just put that put that kind of offer out there to say, okay, if you really want Skubal, this is what we want from you guys. So maybe the Mets or the Yankees or another team says, oh, okay, we'll give you our 5 best prospects for him and whatever else you want. Maybe someone takes the bait, but I'm sure the demand will come down once they get really serious about trading him or not.
Yeah, and I gotta think that he's not too happy with them, right? I mean, they're so far apart in their numbers, and it's got to make him say, what else do I have to do? I won the last 2 Cy Young awards, and these guys don't want to pay me. They don't want to give me a fair raise. That's gotta leave him, kind of pissed off, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. I definitely think so. And I'm sure, number one, that's going to affect, if they don't trade him, it's going to affect his free agency next offseason. If and when that, I mean, it'll come eventually, right? We know what's happening next offseason, but we also know it's going to get resolved at some point, right? So
right.
I think either way, it's going to affect him in some way. And I think now, he's probably like, wow, that's kind of insulting. Like, what was it? Like almost $20 million apart in offers, right? So Skubal's like, I just won back-to-back Cy Youngs. I can't do any better than this. So I should be paid what I'm asking for. So yeah, and I think it's going to lead to a trade at some point. It's going to. Maybe eventually when the thing gets resolved, and the arbitration case gets resolved, and they have to pay him $33 million. Maybe that's when they'll be like, oh, maybe not, so, but we'll see. Here's what Armand said. David Schoenfield predicted a trade between the Mets and Mariners, where Mets would send Beatty to Seattle and the Mariners would send reliever Matt Brash and prospect. All right. What do you think of that, Rob? What's your thoughts?
I actually did see that. I don't know. I think right now I want them to keep Beatty just as some insurance, because remember, we have an infield of guys who really haven't played those positions. We know that. Bochette hasn't played third base, right? And Polanco How many games has he played at first? One game in his career. So even
Technically,
though
yeah, but he has been practicing, they said, all last year,
yeah,
but he hasn't really played, a whole season there. One game is nothing, right? That's no experience. Okay, Mike Lopez, do you want to be hated like the Dodgers? Listen, absolutely you want to be hated like the Dodgers.
yes,
I'm a Yankee fan. I loved being the team that everybody hated. You know why? Because we were winning championships, right? When they
exactly.
won, when they won the 3 straight, 4 out of 5, whatever, we were the most hated team. Up until the Dodgers being hated the last couple of years, the Yankees were that team that everybody hated. So yeah,
That's
you
right.
want to be the most hated team, right? Because that means you're
Right.
probably winning if they hate you.
Yeah. Listen, my team wins 2 World Series in a row. Hate me.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh
He
my, yeah.
played one
Polanco
inning at
played
first.
1 inning, and you're putting him at first base, and that's your starting first baseman. And Bichette has never played third base, and he's not a good fielder. So yeah, that's risky. I have to say, it definitely is. Absolutely,
Yeah,
that's
of
what you want to be
course.
hated for.
But
Right.
yeah, I would say keep Beatty unless Detroit comes calling and wants Beatty in a trade for Scooble, then that's a whole different story, right? Like we keep
Right.
saying, like when we had Mickey Callaway on, he said, trade whoever you have to get Scooble, right? And in a way that makes sense because this is a pitcher who could just put you over the top. I mean, could you
Right.
imagine if they added him to this pitching staff right now? Forget about it.
Oh my God. Yeah. Listen, any team adding Scooble to their pitching staff makes them that much better, right? If you
Right.
weren't a playoff team before, yeah, that probably puts you in that category. If you're a playoff team, it gives you, yeah, now now you're really up there. So without a doubt, here's another question. Mike Lopez, what happens to Vientos? Would you put him on first, or would you put him out there for the right trade?
See, that you feel Vientos is going to have a comeback year, right? You think he's going to have a good year. You've been saying that,
Offensively, yes.
yeah.
I
And
don't think
I
he's
think
very good
you're,
defensively, but I think you could keep him at DH, right?
yeah,
I would keep him right now. I mean, unless you get blown away, I'm
I
not
agree.
trading Vientos. That's me.
Yeah. So that's my answer too. Unless you get blown away once again for Scooble. Yeah,
Tigers wanted the
that
Mets top 5, yeah, and that's why they traded for Peralta. Exactly. I think giving up, yeah, you gave up 2 of your top prospects without a doubt, and the Peralta thing is probably a 1-year thing, just like Bichette, for different reasons,
or
right? Right, the Bichette thing, he's going to opt out, right? There's no doubt he's going to opt out after this year because next year's free agent class batters, he's going to be the number 1 guy going
yeah,
into, as a batter. So he would be
you're
stupid not
right.
to opt out, to be honest, right?
You're
So,
right.
but
Yeah.
and Peralta is going to be a free agent. And looking at David Stearns's track record, I know it was with Milwaukee, but his track record is not giving starting pitchers long-term deals, right? So you would think Peralta is probably not going to get signed, but that doesn't mean he's definitely not going to get signed by the Mets because, you still got Cohen. He might say, hey, listen, we need an ace. Let's sign this guy. Who knows? And who knows? I'm not jinxing anybody or anything, but what if McClain takes a step back this year and you start questioning like, oh, maybe he's not an ace. Then you kind of stuck, well, we need an ace and we could just sign Peralta. He's not that old. It's not like he's an old guy.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah,
things are going to change.
right.
But right now I would, point to not re-signing him.
And remember, the moves are right now they're in Stearns' hand, but until they're not. If Cohen wants someone, we've seen it. And it's just going to happen no matter what. I mean, he owns the team. Do you feel comfortable as a Met fan with 1-year contracts on 1-year option? Yeah, it depends on the player.
That too, exactly.
All right.
I personally don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind.
I don't either.
Yeah.
But it does depend on the player.
Think about it. Yeah, think about it this way. A guy like Bichette, a guy like Peralta, right? If they're playing for a contract, they're going to be playing their best, right?
That's right.
So they're going to want to perform their very best this year. Trust me, Bichette, he knows, all right, if I'm going to opt out after this year, I want to put up big numbers so this way I go into free agency and people think, wow, this guy's he's just hitting his stride now. Let's sign him to a 10-year, whatever contract, right? So,
Yeah, and if he loved playing in New York, and if the Mets loved him, they have the money to say we're going to re-sign our guy, right?
Right. Here's
So
Mike's. I to me that don't shows to. I understand that. I totally get what he's trying to say there.
yeah,
Um,
me too.
yeah, I get it. But you know what? When you're a team like the Mets, you could take risks like this, right? You could
Yes,
go out there and say, okay, let's. If he opts out, then we're going to try to sign him, right? That doesn't listen because he opts out. That doesn't mean the Mets are going to let him opt out and not try to re-sign him either. So think about that. I think it's almost a good thing for the Mets because if he has a great year and he handles New York fine and he plays third base fine, yeah, I'll resign him. But what if he craps out and he stinks at third base and you kind of stuck with him? You kind of hoping that he opts out, right? So I think in that situation, like you said, certain players you're okay with, certain ones you're probably not. Like
yeah,
Alonso, you probably didn't want him to opt out, but it happened.
but he did, and yeah, and remember, this season is going to be unlike last season because we don't know what's going to happen. There's a question mark on next year. We know there's going to be a work stoppage, but we don't know how long. Let's see.
Right.
Articles of treatment where the Yeah, he does. He definitely has a plan. I mean, I was listening to I forgot who said it, but a baseball executive said that Stearns is the smartest guy in the room. He always
Right.
knows. He's always a couple of moves ahead of everyone else. So, you're right. You can't worry. The guy does have a plan.
Oh,
Do you
absolutely. And
think?
I think that was his plan. And he was going to shake things up because we keep
Yeah.
saying it. This team, this core did not win anything. So it was time to say, okay, do we keep riding these guys out at their escalating age over 30 years old? Or do we try to get something for them now, get away from those contracts and bring some fresh bodies in here and mix things up a little bit? Because obviously there was a clubhouse issue. Whoever it was and whatever it was, who cares? It's over and done with now, right? But this is
Right.
where we're at. So Mike says, do you
And
think are you going to approach Scooble with a
with a
1-year
one
deal?
Well, I don't think that goes for Scooble. Scooble is going for the big contract.
Yeah, he's definitely a free agent next
Yeah,
year. So
he's not going for a 1 year and then opt out. He's going for a different contract. Will the strike hurt these free agents and opt out? Well, it might. It depends how long it goes. Chris, I don't think feels it's going to be as long as some other people think it's going to be.
yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Yeah, I don't listen. I don't think it hurts any of these guys in the long run.
Okay.
Whether it's a
Oh, in the
cap,
long run.
yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like these guys are still going to make their money, right? It doesn't matter. It's a lockout, not a strike. Yeah, like either way, these guys aren't getting paid after this year anyway.
Yeah, it's a
Even if they
lockout.
have, like Soto's got this long-term contract, he doesn't get paid during a lockout or a strike. So it
No.
doesn't matter. Right. And
Yeah.
listen, whenever they come to an agreement, the sides, right? Whatever they come up with, if there's a cap, if there's still this salary tax that they have now, it doesn't matter. The big guys are still going to get their money. They're still going to
Yeah,
get
of
signed.
course.
Like Bichette going into next offseason as the number one free agent, he's still going to get his money. I mean, unless he really has a bad year and gets hurt or something like that. But otherwise, he's going to get a big contract offer next season, regardless, because he's in his prime. He's not an old guy. What is he, 27, 28 years old? He's going to get paid either way. So
Yeah,
I really don't think
he
it's going
is.
to affect him that much.
No, and
Uh,
Stearns was only able to pull. Well, that probably had something to do with it. I mean,
yeah,
but listen, they did.
he
Look who
knows
they
those guys.
offered, and yeah, look who they got. I mean, Brandon Sproat and Jet Williams. Those are two excellent prospects, and you already saw Sproat pitch in the major league. So I think Milwaukee made out pretty good too in that deal, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. And Stearns knows Peralta from his days there, and he knows the other guy, Tobias Myers, right? He knows those
Yeah,
guys. I think did he sign or draft Peralta anyway, to get him to Milwaukee? So he knows those guys. So when he trades for those guys, he's obviously got, experience with them and he knows who they are character wise and obviously how they play. So he knows, all right, I'm going to bring this guy in and maybe we could sign him. If not, and it also helps too about bringing him into New York because we've seen, unfortunately, some players come here and they just can't handle New York. He obviously thinks Peralta could handle New York. So there you go. And he obviously thinks Williams is going to be okay too, because he signed him after a bad year with the Yankees. So
yeah, so I guess so. Armand thinks the whole season will be lost.
stand on the third leg and die on the hill for a cap. They might. I don't know. I hope not. I really hope not.
Baseball's come a long way. Hi, Maria. The baseball's come a long way. They're coming back. They're making a comeback. So,
I agree.
They can't ruin it. Oh, I don't know about that. Yeah, how about Chris? Chris, would you like a Subway Series this year? I mean, I know you don't like the pressure of one, but
yeah, I don't know. I'd rather just the Yankees win the World Series.
Yes,
Stearns traded for Peralta from Seattle, sending Adam.
He did.
Okay, that was a long time ago when you think about it. That was 11 years ago now. But yeah, getting back to those guys. When Stearns gets a guy from Milwaukee, he knows them, and I think that's the reason why he trades for them, because he knows those guys. And let's be honest, trading away only two of your top prospects is better than trading away 5 of your top prospects, even for a guy like Tariq Skubal, right? So to me, it makes a lot of sense on why that happened. So
all right, Chris. So let's go to the Bronx for a second. And what do you think's going on with the Yankees? All right, they signed Bellinger. We talked about it. What else? What else do you see the Yankees doing? There's somebody's off of the market right now. Real quick, Harrison Bader signed a 2-year contract with the San Francisco Giants. Right, for how much was that? 20.5. You said, Chris.
2 years, 20.5 million, and with incentives could go up to 21 million for him. So,
all right, he's off the table, Chris.
Yeah, having enough to make it to the World Series. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not gonna take it totally off the table, because I look at the Yankees real quick. Listen, they won 94 games last year without their ace, number one, without Cole, and number two, with the bottom half of that lineup not really hitting for most of the year, right? And also with a bullpen that was a complete mess, especially the first half of the year, with Devin Williams completely crapping the bed. How many times blowing saves? So, until they got Bednar to really settle things down, their bullpen was really a mess, even with Bednar, because the rest of the bullpen wasn't that great in the last half, but it kind of settled down enough, and they still ended up winning 94 games. So I think with Cole coming back, hopefully he's close to what he was. I think they'll be just as good. I mean, 94 wins. I'm not, and it's going to be a tough division. So I don't know if anybody will win 94 games in the AL East this year. It's going to be that tough, but I think they're a good enough team. Can they win the World Series? Can they at least get to the World Series? I'm going to say yes, they can, but who knows, right? The playoffs,
Chris,
anything can happen.
Here's a question for you. As of today, all right, say that the season started today, American League East. Give me your predictions right now, today.
Right now?
Yeah, right now, today.
Man, it's so tough. I think Chris ranked it. Yeah, thanks, Armand.
That's what Armand. Good thinking, because that's my question too.
You know what? Until a team beats them, I'm going to put Toronto as number one. And you know what? I'll put the Yankees number 2.
Okay.
With Baltimore 3, Boston 4, and Tampa 5. That's not the way it's going to end up, because it could be any combination there, especially the top 4. I don't know if Tampa is going to be a playoff team this year, but they're still going to be a pain in the neck. They're always a pain in the neck team. So I don't know. I'm hoping for everything to work in a positive way for the Yankees this year. And they get close to what they were last year, 90-ish wins, and, maybe not winning the division, but maybe they'll, be a wild card team. The one thing they have to improve is playing within their division, right? The Blue Jays had the better record. That's the reason why they won the division, because we were tied with Toronto for the best record in the American League East, because they beat us head to head better, so they have to be better within their division. The
All
Yankees
right.
need a
So
shortstop, maybe a trade for CJ Abrams. Yeah, I think at some point that's a possibility. I think the Nationals are looking to, unfortunately for them, they're looking to rebuild again. They thought after the Soto trade a couple of years ago that all these guys would be coming up together and it would have worked out great, and it hasn't worked out the way they wanted to. And they recently just traded Mackenzie Gore, another guy from that trade. So
yeah. So
I have to put somebody fourth. Any fourth place team in the East right now is going to be a really good team, whether it's Boston, Baltimore, the Yankees, Toronto. All four of those teams, I can make an argument right now to be first place. Could be in first.
See, with Baltimore, it's like if Gunnar Henderson comes back, that's going to be a key, right? If the players who had bad years last year, if they come back to hit like we thought they were going to hit with Alonso there, then they're going to be really tough. But I would give the edge right now to Toronto.
Yeah. Boston has better pitching than the O's. I agree. But listen, the offseason is still not over, right? You still got Framber Valdez out there who's been linked to the Orioles all offseason. So I could see him, if he goes there, that might push it a little bit towards Baltimore. But Boston still has Crochet. To me, Crochet is that guy's he's one of the best pitchers in the game. So that puts them over the top, I think, always. The rest of their rotation is not locked in great or anything like that, Boston. So they're good, but I wouldn't put them way over everybody. Crochet is that guy that puts them well over the top. So
yeah, definitely.
Armand is saying Abrams has 3 years of control, so he will cost a lot, and teams are looking at him to play second base. Yeah, I mean, listen, if that's the case, I don't know if the Yankees will make that trade. They would keep him at short at least for 1 year and then possibly move him to second if and when Jazz leaves after this year.
Yeah, well, Armand's ranking.
All right, listen, I'm not disagreeing with you because I could see that happen too. I'm coming as a Yankee fan, and I'm going to be positive as much as,
of course,
but I'm not going to say they're going to beat Toronto because we have to show them we could beat them because we couldn't beat them last year. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think it could go any way with Toronto on top, though. Right now, I'm giving the edge to Toronto because, like you said, until they're beaten, you have to. On tomorrow, Freddie Peralta will be introduced by the Mets. Okay, cool. Okay. Anybody want to see that?
Ranger Suarez is pretty elite. I think he's really good. Yeah. I think that was a big pickup for Boston. I agree. That's your number 2, I guess. So it's Crochet and then Suarez and then, the rest kind of fill in there. So, yeah, listen, that was a pretty good pickup. No doubt.
Yeah, that's a good staff. But like I said, we just have to we'll see. It could go any way there. Yes. Good.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
Definitely.
But think about it. They got Suarez, but the Yankees, people forget, right? The Yankees got Fried. They got Cole now coming back. And you got Rodon. That's a great top 3 right there. Then you add in what's Schlittler. Schlittler is like a big wild card too, because if he's anything like he was at the end of the last season, that's an awesome number 4 starter. Then you add Luis Hill or someone else as your 5. That's a really good rotation. Will Warren pitched great as a rookie. That's what I mean. I don't think it could go the other way. Obviously, yeah. I'm not saying they're locked in, and yeah, Cole could come back nowhere near what he normally is, but I think they're pretty good.
All right, and that's a good segue. Dan agrees with you. I knew that.
Dan. Someone agrees with me.
All right, so that's a good segue. We made list, right? Let's read this and we'll get into that.
Did the Yankees make the right move, bringing back essentially the same roster and re-signing Bellinger just for chemistry? This is the same lineup that couldn't hit Gausman or Savage in the playoffs.
That's a good question.
Continues here, and now the Jays added Cease. How are the Yankees supposed to score runs and beat top teams like the Jays and Red Sox, who both had winning records against them? That's what I'm saying. That's the key right there. Within the division, that's what they got to improve on. And did they do enough? I don't know if they did enough. Can they be better? That's the thing. I think this team can be better. Last year, it was more in the playoffs against, Toronto. It was more their starting pitching that was awful, right? Those first 2 games in Toronto, they just got blown away, right? Offensively, Toronto just blew them away. So I'm not going to, and that game 3, that's when Judge hit the home run. Game 4, they won. So I think they could be better, right? Because a lot of those games, not the playoff games, but the regular season, they were close games. I don't think they're that far off. Does the return of Cole put them over the top? And, and with the rest of that rotation being healthy and pitching, does that put them over the top? Does that put them better than Toronto? Maybe it does. I just don't know. And until they prove it, we have to say, no, they can't, right? And I look at it this way, and I said it, I think I said it last week, was that no matter what this lineup is, for us, for the Mets, for any team, it's just to start the season, right? You're going to see more moves, obviously. We've seen it. Just think about last year when the Yankees started the season. It looked nothing like the team that we've seen after the trade deadline, right? So we're going to probably see a different team, come August 1st, after the All-Star break, after the trade deadline. So we'll see. That's all and we got to remember that was Toronto playing at their peak. What if Toronto doesn't play their best this year? What if they get injuries like we had? What if their best pitcher goes down? What if Gausman goes down on an injury? What if Vladdy goes down? I don't know. And you got to remember, they lost Bichette. How are they going to be next year?
That's true.
This year.
Well, we will see.
I'm with you, David. Rice going to have a generous season, and Armand, Boston rotation, Crochet, Ranger, Gray.
That's right, Sonny Gray.
Listen, to me, Crochet and Ranger are the two definites in that rotation. The rest, Bayo had a great season last year. Can he back it up? Right? Gray, we know from being on the Yankees. How is he going to pitch in the American League East? Right? In Boston, he has horrible numbers in Fenway. How is he going to pitch against the rest of the American League East, the rest of the American League, right? And Toll, Early, and Oviedo, all those guys are young pitchers, so they could be really good, they could be really bad, so we don't know. So, but that's a great 1-2 punch for Boston, without a doubt, Armand. So I'm not putting them down whatsoever. Do the Yankees have an ace? The Red Sox have Crochet, and the Jays have Gausman and Savage. Cole turning back. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Cole's a kind of a wild card. If he comes back like the old Cole, yeah, they have an ace. And if he doesn't, I think Max Fried pitched pretty well last year.
That's right.
But he did get crushed in the playoffs against Toronto. So yeah, Rodon pitched pretty good last year. If he keeps pitching like that, he's a solid 2 or 3. But yeah, Cole is the big one. And is Schlittler, is he going to turn into an ace? I don't know.
That's great. Hey, what if he goes back? We don't know. Long as Cameron, that's
there you go,
that's
a good point, man. 162 game season. It's a marathon, right? Not a sprint. So whatever they do, April 1st, March 31st, whenever the season starts, right? It's not going to look like that in August. Teams would love for that team to be the same from April 1st to August 1st. But unfortunately, injuries happen and everything else during a long season. So, but at least they have a good base to start off with. Both teams.
That's right. That's right. So it's going to be. Listen, the East is going to be a beast. I think in probably both in both leagues, in the American League and the National League. So
I think the National League, just the Nationals, I think, are not going to be that good. The Marlins, I think, they might be able to surprise people. The Phillies, I don't think they got better from last year, so they might take a step back. Right? We've been talking about that.
I think so. I think the Phillies take a step back.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Anyway, all right.
That's a better way to say it. Hopefully.
Anyway, we picked our 4 favorite starting pitchers and 2 relievers. Okay,
real quick, would Luis come back to form a play? I don't know. If they do make a trade, yeah, he would probably be the guy that they move on from. I would guess.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Hopefully he comes back to form and they don't have to trade him, right?
Yes. All right. So we have our 4 favorite pitchers, me for the Mets, you for the Yankees, and 2 relievers. Remember, these are our favorites, and we're going to pick ones that we saw pitch. I know I practically saw every Met pitcher. And the ones I didn't were pretty bad. So we'll go from there. Chris, why don't you start us off?
Okay, see, and Rob didn't even see all the Yankee pitchers either, so don't even try with that as a joke.
All right, don't pull
Yeah,
a Tom on me.
he didn't go much further back than me, but I'll pick one older guy, and then the other three are going to
Okay,
be more recent guys. But definitely, I got to put in Ron Guidry. Obviously,
of course.
he has to be one of my guys. Great pitcher in the '70s and early '80s. Then, of
Louisiana
course,
Lightning.
exactly. That '78 season. Just go back and look at that on Baseball Reference, and you'll understand if you don't know about Ron Guidry. Andy Pettitte, right? I got to put Andy Pettitte, man. I loved having him out there during the regular season. Always when he pitched after a loss, he was money, always clutch. And then obviously in the playoffs, always clutch. I got to put CeCe. When he came here, right, in 2009, we won the World Series, our last World Series. He was one of the main reasons why, because we finally got that ace, because that's what we were really missing. And fourth one, I got to put Garrett Cole, right, since he's been here. I know we haven't won anything yet with him, but, I mean, the guy's done everything he could possibly do. Coming back from the injury now, let's hope he bounces back. But those are my four guys.
All right, and all right, we'll give the relievers. I'll give the Mets starters, and then we'll do the relievers after that. Although yours is not going to be that hard to figure out. All right, of course, my four starting pitchers favorite. Of course, Seaver's number one, the franchise. I mean, I don't even have to explain that. 3 Cy Young awards, and I luckily see this is what's great. I got to see Seaver pitch at Shea Stadium a couple of times. So I got to see him pitch. It's like being able to see the best pitcher in your team's history pitch. Right. And I got to see Seaver. And then number 2, of course, is Dwight Gooden, Dr. K. I got to see him pitch a lot. Friday nights at Shea Stadium, somehow they always had it set up that Gooden would pitch Friday nights at Shea Stadium. And it was an event. I would go. I went to so many Friday night games with Dwight pitching, the K corner, everybody had their Ks. The place went wild. So number 2, of course, has to be Dwight Gooden. Number 3, Jacob deGrom. I mean, his 2 Cy Young awards. The Mets did not score for the guy, and he still won 2 Cy Young awards. Jake was great. When he left, it was sad, but, what are you going to do? And number 4, Jerry Koosman. The Mets retired his number for a reason. If Seaver wasn't on that staff, Koosman would have been the ace of that staff. Koosman was steady in the 69 World Series. The guy was great. I got to see him pitch a lot at Shea Stadium, even more than Seaver. I think I saw Koosman. So my 4th pitcher is Jerry Koosman. Chris, what are your relievers? I know what one of them is, of course.
Yeah, I mean, number 1, obviously, Mariano Rivera, right? I mean, without him, maybe we don't win all those championships in the 90s and 2000s. So he's definitely number 1. Number 2, I could have went in different directions, but because Joe put this up about Rigetti, yes, he did throw the no-hitter on July 4th. Yes, against the Red Sox, striking out Wade Boggs for the final out. We all remember that.
Yes, we know that.
I'll say he's my number 2 reliever because, I grew up with Gossage too. And yeah, he won the World Series, but I'll give Rigetti a little bit more credit because he normally doesn't get any credit or as much credit as he was great as a reliever too. And it was weird because as a starter, he'd always have that first inning or second inning where he would struggle a little bit and then he'd calm down the rest of the game. But to turn that into being a really good closer, I thought that was incredible. But yeah, he's probably my number 2.
Okay, so then would Goose Gossage be your honorable mention?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. He's definitely number 2, A and B with Rags for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Listen, my favorite relievers. I'm gonna have to go with John Franco because he does not get enough respect. The man has the most saves of any left-hander relief pitcher. Okay, and he just does not. He doesn't get the respect he deserves. That's something. The most saves for a lefty. So I'm going to have to go with Franco. And then I'm going to pick Jesse Orosco. Come on. He was on the mound 1986 for that game 6 in Houston. All right. Got the final out. That was a war, that game. And he was definitely on the mound. Game 7 in the 1986 World Series. I mean, who could forget him throwing up the glove and the Mets going crazy? So I would have to pick him with my honorable mention, Tug McGraw. So there you have it.
Yeah, Dan, I couldn't pick Whitey Ford. I didn't see him play. If we added everybody, yeah, Whitey Ford would definitely be, has to be, right? Yankees, Whitey Ford, Red Ruffing obviously would be up there too. But those guys, maybe even Mel Stoudemire, I just couldn't add those guys to my list.
Yeah, had to be people we saw pitch. That was
just
it.
To be on
Although the Met pitchers I didn't see pitch weren't that good, so it wasn't that tough.
Roger Craig, he's more known as a good manager.
Roger Craig was a great pitching coach, okay, and manager, but as a pitcher for the Mets, he's
the guy that taught Mike Scott the split finger, right? And we've seen what happened with Mike Scott when he went to Houston. Like what kind of a pitcher?
And and Armand, I agree. Of course, Pedro, Johan, Harvey, for a little while.
It's tough. It's tough
to, and Diaz, Though you see, I've seen different guys. I've seen more. I'm older than you, so I have more of a selection. But yes, I agree. All of them. Great.
Is this
pitchers.
true? Whitey Ford was Rob's father-in-law at one time.
My cousin. Okay. My ex-wife's father, my ex-wife's father looked just like Whitey Ford. That Joe Dell's father would call him Whitey Ford because he could have played Whitey Ford in a movie. That's how much he looked like Whitey Ford. So, there you go.
Honorable mention for bullpen. Dai Sung Koo he hit the double off of Randy Johnson at Shea in the subway.
That was it. Yeah, you're right. That was funny. I'll never forget that in the Subway Series. That was great. But all right,
that's to forget about Randy Johnson's time with the Yankees. He just and I'm sure he'd want to also, to be honest.
It didn't start off too great, right? The thing with the photographer and
he just didn't seem right. That's one of those, like whenever we see a picture of a player with a jersey that they're not known for, it doesn't look right. Like that was the whole season with Randy Johnson. Like sometimes players come here and they just fit perfectly and it's perfect. The pinstripes, make him better and all that stuff. We go that direction. It was the complete opposite with Randy Johnson. And I'm sure he would admit like this was, his least liked place to pitch and time pitched and all that. I'm sure he would say that too. It was just
that was a George move though, right? George had to have Randy Johnson, right?
Maybe, it just didn't work out. I mean, it just, and he pitched really good. Didn't he go to, what was it, Arizona or something after that? And he pitched really well, or I forgot. I thought he pitched really good after he left.
Yeah. So you're right. He wasn't. It wasn't the best move. All right. Do you have that picture that I sent you before, so I could put it up and have a good laugh?
Yeah. Hold on.
The woof woof.
Yeah.
So Saturday night, right? The Baseball Writers of America had their annual dinner, where they name all these awards and stuff. And I'm just waiting for Chris to put up this picture.
And I'll say this: I'm easily. I love dogs. I have one.
Me too. Of course.
At one point, I had two, unfortunately, but I love dogs, so I have nothing against dogs. But this award makes no sense to me. The dog of the year, right? What was it exactly called?
Okay, the Baseball Writers. This is their first annual. Okay, Decoy Otani took home the first annual Most Valuable Dog Award at the Baseball Writer Association of America dinner. Why? What did Otani's dog do that, say, Aaron Judge's dog didn't do, Chris? What did he do that Diaz's dog didn't do? Why is his dog the Most Valuable Dog Award? I don't know. I think they're just giving everything to Otani now.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're just making up awards to give to this guy. Like he doesn't have enough already. I don't know. I don't get it. Like, I think he got enough awards. He doesn't need more.
Yeah.
You know what
But
I mean?
they actually made an award. Okay. It was on the YouTube channel.
The
That's
dog
good.
threw the first pitch at
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yes, he did. That might be why he did. That's right. He did.
Probably best baseball card. Yeah. He's
well,
got other things
he
too,
could get
probably.
it. But we just want to say, Ohtani, I think he gets every award. You know, his wife might win wife of the year MVP award next year.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Right.
Someone might be upset if he got it over him. But he was on Arizona when they beat the Yankees. Yeah, that was
Yes,
before.
he was.
But that was before the Yankees got him.
Yeah, that was in 2001. That's
right. After the Yankees got him, he went back to Arizona for 2 years. Then he went to San Fran his last season when he was like 45 years old.
Yeah, I even forgot that he pitched for San Fran.
And
yeah, you're right.
When he pitched that no hitter, was that in? I know it was for Arizona against Atlanta that time. It was in Atlanta. Was that after he went to the Yankees, or was that before?
You know, that's a good question. I'm trying. It's been so long.
Yeah, because I remember him pitching pretty decent when he left the Yankees, and I thought, wow, look at that. He did throw 2 complete games in. Hold on. Arizona. 2000.
I just what you're looking at up. You know, enough with Ohtani and these awards, please. All right, somebody get a dog that could do so. Maybe someone could get a dog that could hit a home run in batting practice. So we don't have to. You know, they could be the MVP. Maybe Judge's dog learns how to hit a home run with that batting instructor guy. Right.
Right. Exactly.
That nobody likes. All right. Anyway, so. Are you still looking something up, Chris?
Yeah, I was just looking up quick, but I don't think so. But I remember he pitched okay with Atlanta, just looking at his numbers that final year. So, or those 2 years after he left the Yankees, he was okay. I mean, he wasn't great either with the Yankees. It was just, the guy's at the end of his career, you know, like with the Yankees, he was 41 and 42 years old.
Yeah. Well, what do you?
And you know what?
That's who it is.
I said he didn't pitch good, but you know what? He won 17 games in both those years.
Yeah, he pitched pretty good, Chris.
I guess I don't remember him being that good, but I guess
he was good. If he won 17 games each season. But also, all right, the Major League Baseball has ranked the top 100 Major League players for 2026, and here's no surprise. They're the same 3. The top 3 are the same 3 as 2025. Do you know who they are, Chris?
Without looking, I'm gonna say it's got to be Ohtani, Judge, and who would be number 3?
You want me to give you a hint?
Yeah, give me a hint.
He plays for the Royals. There's a hint.
Oh, okay, Bobby Witt. Okay.
Yeah. Bobby Witt Jr. is 3rd. Okay. Then this is where it changes a little bit. Number 4, think about who had great years at certain positions, and maybe you can come up with number 4.
All right. That sounds like Cal Raleigh.
You got it. That's great, Chris. Number 5, Jose Ramirez. And just to round it off, I'm not going to go all the way through, to even 10, but Juan Soto was number 6. So Juan Soto, highest paid player, number 6.
Okay. Juan Soto, 6, Paul Skeens, 7, Skubal, 8, Corbin Carroll, 9, and Vladdy, number 10. All right. So that, you know what? I have no problems with that top 10, Let me see. Armand thinks Witt should be lower, with Skubal being 3. Yeah, I mean, I listen.
Or higher.
Yeah, Skubal should be lower, and Witt should be lower. Skubal should be higher at number 3. All right, I'm not going to argue though. That top 10, you could, after I think Ohtani and Judge, everything else you could kind of put any way you want. But I think Ohtani, Judge should be 1, 2, and then the rest you could kind of, fill in the blanks yourself. And there shouldn't be an argument, really. I mean, any of those guys could be up there. So,
yeah, and Ski, listen, What do you think about the Pirates making a few moves this offseason?
I think it's kind of it's kind of to show Skeens like, hey, listen, we're willing to sign guys. We're willing to, spend a few dollars here to make the team better, right? I don't think,
Right.
I listen, is it going to be enough to win that division against a
No.
team like
Well,
Chicago or even like, yeah, we're kind of throwing
yeah,
Milwaukee away because they lost Peralta, but who knows? I mean, they might have other guys coming up, and you know what? They're still going to be a good team, right? St. Louis,
right.
yeah, you can kind of, unfortunately, they're going through a rebuild at this point. So, but yeah, I mean, listen, I think it's just to show Skeens like, hey, listen, we're going to spend money. We're going to try to build a team around you, and the rest of it, because the rest of the rotation is really good, and they got that really good shortstop coming up. That good prospect. What's his name? Connor Griffin, I think.
Yeah.
He's like the number
Connor
one
Griffin.
prospect in baseball or something. So maybe that's what
My,
they're trying to do. So
yeah,
Skeens doesn't say, listen, get me out of here. I want
yeah.
to be ready.
Well, he's gonna probably anyway. We know that. But let's get into this for real quick. What has the Cincinnati Reds done this offseason? When we're talking about people haven't done anything offseason.
I don't think anything. What have they done? Who they signed?
Like what is Cincinnati? They're wasting that kid there. I'm telling you.
Yeah, Ellie.
Yeah. They backed into the playoffs, and look what happened. They were no match in the postseason. They were out of there so fast. But they have to thank the Mets for that they were able to back into that into the postseason.
Basically.
But they didn't do, and Chris, they've done nothing this offseason so far. So you got to think about some of these teams that have done absolutely nothing. Why, no moves at all. I can't even think of a move.
Armand's top 10. You got Ohtani, Judge, Skubal, Keens, Cal, Soto, Witt, J-Ram, Lindor, and Vladdy. Of course, yeah, you're going to throw in a Met. That, I mean, like Lindor. There's nothing wrong with that. That's okay. I'm okay with that. Mike wants us to name the top 10 pitchers in Major League Baseball. Well, you got Skeens. You got Skubal. Crochet's got to be up there, right? Yamamoto's got to be up there.
Do you include Ohtani in that list?
Yeah, right. I guess so.
Like, could he have a double? Yes, Connor Griffin.
Right. Oh yeah, see, Ellie rejected. You're talking about Cincinnati. Ellie did reject a long-term deal, and I don't blame him.
Could you blame him?
He's probably going to get more, right, in a couple of years.
Right.
So, but I like Cincinnati's. Let's try to sign this guy. Throw a lot of money, so at least the fans could say at least they tried.
Yeah.
But they should be trying to figure out building around him for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And, the deal, I guess the deal didn't have opt-outs in it because, if it had opt-outs, then maybe sign it. But I don't blame him. I really don't blame him. Let's see. Okay. This Joe Dell, if you haven't seen it, he loves that movie, The Bad Lieutenant, because it's he likes it because it's just it's a crazy movie. And The Bad Lieutenant reminds him of my father, and the Mets are in it, and it's
okay.
The guy's a crooked lieutenant, so that's why it is a good movie.
Where did the money go when they lost the bid? Right, exactly. Right, they wanted to sign Schwarber to a lot of money, and they lost out to Philly.
Yeah, but where is that money? You're right.
Well, they signed O'Hearn, right? And they signed someone else, I think.
They did sign O'Hearn. Yes, they did.
Yeah, remember, they could try to sign a lot of guys, like maybe we don't know. And teams were like, and players were like, maybe not. I don't want to go to Pittsburgh. I'd rather go somewhere else, Agreed to a deal with reliever Pierce Johnson. They also finally a minor league contract with 2 experience in Michael. Yeah, those are all like, okay players for like the bench or the bullpen. But I don't know if that's going to put you over the top, especially when the Cubs went out and got Bregman, right? Or Hearn went to the Pirates. Yeah, that was their big surprising signing for a lot of people, I think, that they went out and
I think so. You're right. So, what do you think of this is like a no-brainer because it doesn't cost you anything. What do you think about the Mets signing Craig Kimbrell to a minor league deal?
Listen, minor league deals are the best things, right? Because they're basically you're just taking a flyer on a pitcher or a hitter. You're just seeing what they got. Basically, they're not tied to your team. They're not guaranteed money or anything like that. So I have no problem with that. You kind of bringing him into spring training, see what he's got. If he's got something left, if you could, with your coaching, can you get something out of him? Can you squeeze a little bit more out of the toothpaste thing out of him?
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, but I have no problem with that. That was a good signing.
No, it doesn't cost you anything,
Nothing to lose.
Yeah, exactly. I like it too. You have nothing to lose. Maybe Stearns catches lightning in the bottle again, for a little while, or maybe he's just finished. Let's see.
Mike is definitely a Dodger fan, so he's
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Would you be upset if the Dodgers trade for Skubal? Imagine a rotation of Skubal, Yamamoto, Snell, Ohtani, Glasnow, Sasaki. Yeah, that would be something. That would be unbeatable, probably.
It would be like Ohtani, just hand him the friggin' award, and that's it. Right. The World Series, and that's it. But if Mike's a Dodger fan, where are you from? Are you from LA, or are you from around the New York area as a Dodger fan? That would be interesting to know. Where are there Dodger fans all over the country, Chris? Like how there's Yankee fans all over the country.
I think so. Mike is saying he's from LA. All right.
Okay. See, there you go. So he is from LA.
Thanks for checking us out, Mike. We appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to have you out there.
Personally, definitely. I don't know if Major League Baseball, the fans, the rest of Major League Baseball outside of LA would appreciate that if the Dodgers traded for him. But
you're right.
Listen, if they did, then they did. I mean, what do there's nothing you could do. Born and raised in LA. Good for you, man.
Cool.
There's really nothing a team could do, right? I mean, if he's legitimately put out there in the trade market, right? If they legitimately put him out there, then it's really up to teams to put out better offers. And if they can't, if the Dodgers got the best offer, then they should get him. There's nothing you could do. Upset other teams need to grow a set and make a better offer for school. Right, exactly.
There you go.
You said exactly what I was trying to say. Like, if he's put out there for a trade, then yeah, you got to be out there and saying, yeah, I want him. I'll give you whoever you want. Let's get this done.
Oh yeah, Mike. We know Japan there at time, and of course Mexico. I mean, they're on the border.
Ohtani definitely got them some fans since he's been over there for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely in Japan. I mean, not only Ohtani, Chris.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, Chris, do you have anything else before I announce what's coming up and everything? Because the hour has gone by again, flown by.
Yeah. Listen, thank you to everybody for joining and for being in the comment section. We appreciate that. That's part of the show. We want that. We love it. We encourage it. And if you like it, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. So when we come on again. We normally do Friday nights at 9:00 and Mondays at 3 p.m. So come back and join and hang out with us and be in that comment section because you guys are part of the show. You guys are the show, right? With all the comments and everything else. So we love it and we appreciate it. So
yeah, we do appreciate it, right, Chris? Because we see other shows. Thanks, Sally. Thanks, cuz. We see other shows and they don't get as many comments as this. Okay, it's like you're sitting there and they'll get one or two comments or whatever. We like the interaction with
more comments, the better.
With everybody. Yeah, definitely. So thanks, Armand. So here's what we got going. All right. Friday night, we're going to have a pretty good show because we have Brian Kriz, and this guy goes to like Mets fantasy camps, but also this year he also went to the Washington Nationals fantasy camp. So he's going to come on and he's going to tell us what goes on in the camps and everything that he's experienced. And it sounds like it's a great time. So you want to definitely check that out on Friday night at 9 p.m. And then the following week, at some point, we're going to have former Nationals reliever Ray King's going to come on. So we got some players also. We got a couple other players that I'll announce probably on Friday night. So anyway, that's it, Chris. We will catch everybody on Friday night. Thank you, everybody.